inside the Richland County Courthouse, where we're here at the Richland County Courthouse, outside of courtroom 3A and 3B.
No, we're in
Two. Oh, it was 3B yesterday.
Thank you. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Cool.
One thing I forgot about them.
Ken, you guys are all
Quinn,
recording for a reason.
right?
Ken Quinn, the old guy. They made that poor guy beat his other guy. That's a 5 points now. Like 20 years ago when one of the times South Carolina made the College World Series. Oh man, it was 11 o'clock at night. Poor man. Oh yeah. The best part is Ken's young. Somebody and they, I was like, why did you do that?
I was at
Yeah.
Tryon.
Yeah. It's one thing if you see something out there to do like the story that the fans are going.
Big deal.
I get that.
And they said,
But yeah.
it was Mike checked in.
Said it is quite something.
Their project, every local area. No, it was changing Mike. What? I think it's actually down that hall. Especially because Super Bowl same way. Carolina Constantine.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for your patience with us. We've got the order drafted. Y'all know Kathleen McDaniel, attorney who argued on behalf of Planned Parenthood abortion providers today. She's going to speak, and then Vicki Ringer, who's the Planned Parenthood South Atlantic Director of Public Affairs. I know y'all know and love Vicki already. She can say a few words on our behalf as well. And if y'all have questions, just let us know. And I will let you take it away, Kathleen. Everyone come on in for the video shot here. Come on. Yeah.
Just look.
You got
Okay.
all these mics in front of you.
Hey there. Any questions?
So how do you feel about today's ruling?
We're pleased with today's ruling. We had requested a temporary restraining order for only a short period of time. Grateful to Judge Newman for granting a preliminary injunction that actually enjoins the statute for longer than a TRO would have.
What's the next step?
When do you expect the Supreme Court to actually take this up?
We don't know the answer to that. That is a very difficult procedural conundrum. There is no real procedural process for the Supreme Court just to take up a case. So we're still going to have to take a look at how it will proceed up to the Supreme Court.
Do you think the changes made by the legislature will get past the Supreme Court, or do they make enough changes to get past the Supreme Court if they do take it up?
No, the bill in its, the substance of it is still exactly the same. The 6-week ban is still the 6-week ban, and the exceptions, the previous bill, which was already ruled unconstitutional, the exceptions had a 20-week time limit, and that has been reduced in the new bill to 12 weeks. So it is a further, more egregious violation of constitutional rights.
Do the legislative findings that were included in this law, will that change anything in a way?
No. Legislative findings are helpful, but they are not determinative and they are not the law.
You submitted the order. He has not signed it yet.
That's correct. He directed us to draft the order. We have drafted it. We've sent it to opposing counsel to give them an opportunity to review and comment. We've asked them to respond within the hour with any revisions, and then we'll send it to Judge Newman.
You talked a little bit about the abortions at Planned Parenthood that you have to kind of turn away. So does that mean you will continue to have to turn away those abortions today and for the rest of the week?
No, because the statute has been enjoined, it cannot be enforced. Once Judge Newman signs the order, then abortions can continue in South Carolina as they were prior to this law being passed.
But you have to wait for the order to actually sign.
That's correct.
So you still have 75 women sitting and waiting.
We have patients in the waiting room waiting on the order to be signed.
How frustrating has it been for these women that are seeking this care to have this back and forth? I mean, they woke up Thursday, they were okay, they then found out they weren't, and now they find out they're okay again. How frustrating is that for people that just want to seek care?
It is extraordinarily difficult, not only for the women themselves, but for their doctors, and not just the doctors at Planned Parenthood and Greenville Women's Clinic, but at all hospitals across the state who need to understand what to do in an emergency situation. Those doctors, under the previous law, the SB1, when we had the 51 days where the law was actually in effect, it caused a considerable amount of complications and confusion and the inability of doctors to provide care to women.
I can add a little more to that, if you don't mind. Just in the short time since the bill was passed Tuesday night, my messages on phone and text have been filled with women who are afraid. Women who are not even pregnant right now, but worried that they may be. I've heard from a woman who wants her daughter to move here, but is, because of her pre-existing conditions, pregnancy is a lethal condition for her. It is not benign. It is not always safe. And so anytime care is denied, women are harmed. It is just that simple. They can pretend all day at the State House that, oh, pregnancy is so simple and it's just a joy-filled, glowing time for women. It is dangerous. And as you've heard us say over and over again, we have the 8th highest maternal mortality rate in this state, the 5th highest infant mortality rate. Let's protect the people who are here before we try to restrict that care. But people are confused. Even doctors' offices are calling us asking, I have a patient, she's sick, do I have to wait until she's septic? They're asking us for advice because hospital attorneys, attorneys for medical associations are also unsure what is happening. The governor signed this bill yesterday in a closed-door ceremony. Not one bit of notice to doctors in this state. So they could have been in the middle of surgery, started out as a competent, experienced physician, and ended it as a criminal in our state. Doctors needed notice. Even in North Carolina, with their egregious bill, it allowed, the bill does not go into effect until July 1. That would have been basic human dignity to allow patients to plan, because they do, many of them will be forced out of state. Until this injunction is in our hands, people are waiting and they're scared and they're unsure. And that's never a place for people in South Carolina or anywhere to be placed in. So we look forward to having this injunction so we can continue services. Women can get the care they need, and we don't care where they come from. No matter what state they live in, we will welcome them and we will care for them. Medical care, abortion access should not be limited by anyone's zip code. So this is a good day for us, and we look forward to being able to continue to provide the care to men, women, and teens in South Carolina.
The 75, is that just Planned Parenthood or was that Greenville included?
That's just Planned Parenthood. Greenville Women's Clinic has about 45 to 50, 60 folks scheduled for today and tomorrow.
Do you know how many are before the 6-week mark?
The vast majority, 97% of the ones that are at our clinic are after the 6 weeks.
What about Greenville?
I don't know the answer to that.
Vicki, why do you think that the legislature didn't put in there, like, you know, this act goes into effect after 30 days or some kind of period in there to give people this adjustment time? Why do they make it immediate upon signature?
Their point is to stop it immediately. And if people suffer, honestly, as cruel as it sounds on my behalf, that is an intention. That they will frequently say, not one day longer, even one day can save all these babies, which is so disingenuous. But it makes doctors criminals. It doesn't allow us to contact patients, to reschedule, to help them travel out of state if necessary. Care is important and people need to plan. And allowing us to be able to do that was not too much to ask for. And we did ask for that. Senators tried to get that done. every time they present one of these bills, it's effective upon the governor's signature. At a minimum, the governor could have sent out a notice. Notice to doctors, I plan to sign this bill today at 10 a.m. Not too hard to do. He could have tweeted it. He tweeted that it was a reasonable bill, which it's not, but he could have tweeted that I'm going to sign it at 10, and he never did.
Not to get too much into the nitty-gritty, but can you tell us the likely steps forward? If this will be handled at the trial at the circuit court level and then go to the appeals court and then the Supreme Court, what can you just give a little more clarity on going forward?
We don't know at this point. I don't feel comfortable making any assumptions about which way it will go, so that's something that we have to figure out shortly.
Who will decide? Will it be the judge?
I think that attorneys are going to have a conversation about what exactly is going on.
How long is the order or the block for?
It is indefinite, so it's until someone else rules that it can go back into effect.
But then Judge Newman say this is a decision for the Supreme Court ultimately to decide.
Yes, that is what he said.
Okay, but the order doesn't specifically say kick it up to the Supreme Court.
No, it does not.
Okay.
It does not. It's a relatively narrow order saying that the law is enjoined.
If you are back before the Supreme Court looking ahead and you stood up for that first argument, what would you tell the Supreme Court?
I would say that nothing in this law has changed. The only thing that has changed is that there's no longer a woman on the Supreme Court, and that the court should be independent of political pressure and maintain its legitimacy and stand by its rulings.
Are you confident that would happen?
Yes, I'm confident in our judiciary.
Again, not to get too much into the nitty gritty, what's the difference between the TRO that you all saw and then the injunction that Judge Newman issued?
Yeah, so the key word is temporary. So a TRO is a temporary restraining order, and that is granted for a maximum of 10 days. And then you have to come back into court and have another hearing. Sometimes they can be extended, but they are for a very short period of time, whereas the preliminary injunction is in effect while the litigation is pending for the entire time indefinitely.
So I gotta imagine from your perspective, him issuing the injunction is better news for you all.
It's more than we asked for, yes. Anything else?
Anything else you want to tell us?
Melissa?
No, we're just very happy that it turned out this way, for the sake of women and pregnant people in South Carolina. We have every confidence in the judiciary and the independence of the judges in South Carolina, and it's a good day. Yeah.
Melissa, can you say and spell your name for us?
Excuse me?
Can you say and spell your name for us? Full name.
Melissa Burnett, Malissa. Burnett, Burnettete, and we're with Burnett, Shutt, and McDaniel Law Firm.
Thanks.
Thank y'all so
Thank you.
much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thanks for your work.
Thank y'all for
Thank you
waiting
your
for us.
patience.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. We didn't know you were out here.
It's sorry. We were just having lunch. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good day. Y'all will know if you hear any movement from the court, but as I said,